Imagine stepping into a time machine, traveling back to a simpler era, where the rhythms of life are dictated by the rising sun and the changing seasons. In a world of constant connectivity and ever-advancing technology, there exists a people who have chosen to live apart, embracing simplicity, tradition, and faith over modern convenience. This is the world of the Amish, a community deeply rooted in values that many of us have long left behind. In this documentary, we journey into the heart of Amish life, a world where technology takes a back seat and community reigns supreme. We'll uncover their history, explore their daily lives, and learn how they navigate the challenges of a rapidly changing world while remaining steadfast in their beliefs. The Amish story begins in 16th century Europe during the upheaval of the Protestant Reformation. Amid the push for religious reform, a radical group known as the Anabaptists emerged. They believed in adult baptism, viewing it as a conscious declaration of faith, a stark departure from the common practice of infant baptism in both Catholic and Protestant churches. These early Anabaptists faced fierce persecution. Both church and state sought to suppress them, fearing their radical beliefs threatened societal order. Many were imprisoned, tortured, or executed, but their faith endured. Out of this crucible of suffering, the Amish would eventually emerge. In the late 1600s, Jacob Amann, a Swiss Anabaptist leader, called for stricter adherence to biblical teachings and a more visible separation from the world. He emphasized humility, simplicity, and mutual accountability, principles that became the foundation of the Amish faith. His followers, who came to be known as the Amish, broke away from the Mennonites and formed their own distinct communities. By the early 18th century, waves of Amish families began crossing the Atlantic, seeking religious freedom and fertile land. Pennsylvania, with its promise of tolerance under William Penn's charter, became their first home in the New World. Over time, they spread to Ohio, Indiana, and beyond, building insular communities that allowed them to preserve their way of life. At the heart of Amish life is faith, a profound and unwavering commitment to living according to God's will. Their worship is centered on the ordinum, an unwritten set of rules that governs their daily lives. Unlike most Christian denominations, Amish services do not take place in elaborate churches, but in homes, barns, or other humble spaces. These gatherings emphasize community, humility, and equality before God. Their services are conducted in Pennsylvania Dutch, a dialect that blends German with English, or High German, which they use for scripture readings. Singing is unaccompanied, slow, and deeply reverent, reflecting their emphasis on simplicity and devotion. Baptism is a cornerstone of Amish faith. Unlike many Christian denominations, the Amish practice adult baptism, a conscious choice made after Rumspringa, a period during which youth are allowed to explore life outside the community. This decision is not taken lightly, as it represents a lifelong commitment to the Amish way of life. The Ordnung is more than a set of rules, it is a spiritual framework that shapes every aspect of life. It dictates dress codes, prohibits certain technologies, and guides interactions with the outside world. Adherence to the Ordnung ensures that the Amish remain unified and distinct, resisting the influences of modern society. The Amish day begins long before the first rays of sunlight touch the fields. In a quiet kitchen, a mother lights a kerosene lamp and stokes the wood stove, the comforting scent of homemade bread filling the air. Across the hall, children rub sleep from their eyes, ready to help with morning chores before breakfast is served. Work is at the heart of Amish life, not as a burden, but as a divine calling. The Amish view labor as a way to honor God, and every member of the family contributes, from the youngest child to the eldest grandparent. Their days are filled with tasks that demand strength, skill, and perseverance, yet they find joy in the rhythm of hard work. For most Amish families, the farm is both a home and a livelihood. Their methods remain rooted in tradition, using horse-drawn plows and hand tools instead of tractors and machinery. This choice is not merely about rejecting modernity. It is a conscious effort to remain connected to the land and to rely on God's provisions. Amish farming is diverse and sustainable. Families grow a wide variety of crops, corn, wheat, alfalfa, and vegetables, and tend to livestock like cows, pigs, and chickens. These farms provide not only sustenance, but also a sense of purpose and responsibility that binds generations together. Beyond the fields, Amish men are known for their exceptional craftsmanship. In workshops filled with the scent of fresh-cut wood, they create handmade furniture, tables, chairs, and cabinets, renowned for its quality and durability. These items, sold to non-Amish communities, often become treasured heirlooms. Amish women, too, contribute to their families through skilled handiwork. Quilting, for example, is not just a practical craft, but also a form of artistic expression. Each stitch tells a story, and the finished quilts are often sold or gifted to mark significant life events, such as weddings or births. Amish children are active participants in daily life from a young age. Unlike many modern households where chores are optional, Amish children are entrusted with meaningful responsibilities that instill discipline and a strong work ethic. Education is simple but purposeful. Amish schools emphasize practical skills over academic theory, preparing children for lives rooted in farming, craftsmanship, and homemaking. By the age of 14, most Amish children complete their formal schooling and transition into full-time work within the family or community. Meals are a cornerstone of Amish life, offering a time for families to reconnect after a long day. The food, often grown and prepared by hand, is hearty and wholesome. Meat, potatoes, fresh vegetables, and pies made from scratch. Prayer precedes every meal, a reminder of gratitude for God's blessings. In the evenings, families come together for quiet activities. Reading scripture, singing hymns, or simply sharing stories. Without televisions or smartphones to distract them, these moments of togetherness become the foundation of their strong familial bonds. Life on an Amish farm follows the seasons. In spring, fields are plowed and planted. Summer brings long days of cultivating crops and preserving food. Autumn is a time of harvest, as families work tirelessly to bring in corn, hay, and other produce. Winter, though quieter, is no less demanding, with tasks like repairing equipment, sewing clothes, and preparing for the next year. Amid the hard work, the Amish find joy in the simple pleasures of each season. Whether it's sledding in winter or picnicking in the summer sun, they embrace the beauty of God's creation. Daily life for the Amish is a delicate balance of hard work, faith, and family, a rhythm that remains largely untouched by the march of modern progress. But how do they navigate a world that grows more dependent on technology with each passing year? In the next section, we'll explore the fascinating ways the Amish maintain their traditions while living alongside the visible divides between the Amish and the modern world. While society has become increasingly dependent on electricity, smartphones, and the internet, the Amish have chosen to forego these conveniences. Their reasons are rooted not in fear of progress, but in a profound desire to maintain their faith, community, and way of life. For the Amish, the rejection of technology is not about nostalgia or distrust of innovation. It is a deliberate choice, guided by the ordnung, their unwritten code of conduct. The ordnung emphasizes humility, simplicity, and separation from the world. Technology, they believe, can introduce pride, competition, and individualism, which threaten their close-knit communities. The Amish are not completely opposed to tools or machines. Instead, they carefully evaluate new technologies, asking whether they will support or disrupt their values. For example, a machine that promotes efficiency on a farm may be acceptable, but one that fosters dependence on the outside world or diminishes community interactions is perhaps the most striking aspect of Amish life. In their homes, you won't find refrigerators, televisions, or light switches. Instead, they rely on kerosene lamps for light, ice boxes for food storage, and wood-burning stoves for cooking and heating. These choices help them maintain a slower, more intentional pace of life. While the Amish avoid connection to public power grids, they are resourceful in harnessing other forms of energy. Windmills, for example, are a common sight on Amish farms, used to pump water or power small machinery. Similarly, some communities use propane for appliances like refrigerators and stoves. Balancing practicality with horse-drawn buggy is more than just a mode of transportation. It is a symbol of Amish identity and values. By choosing buggies over cars, the Amish ensure their travel remains local and deliberate, reinforcing their connection to the community and limiting exposure to the outside world. Driving a car, with its speed and convenience, might encourage frequent trips away from home, diluting the bonds of family and neighborhood. The buggy, slow and steady, aligns with their belief that life should reject many modern technologies. They occasionally adapt tools that align with their values. For instance, gas-powered equipment is sometimes used in farming to improve efficiency, provided it doesn't undermine the community's reliance on manual labor and teamwork. In workshops, Amish craftsmen often use diesel-powered engines to run tools. But these are isolated systems, not connected to public utilities. This approach allows them to benefit from modern efficiency without becoming dependent on external networks. Communication within Amish communities is intentionally low-tech. Letters and face-to-face conversations remain the primary means of staying connected. Telephones, if used, are often shared by multiple families and kept outside the home to prevent them from disrupting family life. During Rumspringa, some Amish youth experiment with modern technology, including cell phones and social media. While this period allows them to experience the outside world, many ultimately choose to return to their community, leaving behind the distractions of the modern world in ways that benefit their communities while carefully maintaining their separation. At markets, they sell handmade furniture, baked goods, and fresh produce to non-Amish customers. These interactions provide financial stability without compromising their core values. Some Amish businesses adopt innovative approaches to commerce, such as using solar power for lighting or generators to reflect their ability to navigate a modern economy while holding fast to their traditions. The simplicity of Amish life offers benefits that are increasingly rare in the modern world. Without the constant pull of screens and notifications, families spend more time together, engaging in meaningful conversations and shared activities. This intentional lifestyle fosters mindfulness, patience, and a deeper sense of connection. By living without many of the conveniences we take for granted, the Amish remind us that contentment does not come from having more, but from appreciating what we have. While technology shapes much of the modern world, the Amish rely on something far more enduring: their sense of community. In the next section, we'll explore the bonds that hold their society together and the values that guide their relationship. For the Amish, community is not just a word, it is the foundation of their way of life. From the moment they are born to the day they pass away, Amish individuals are surrounded by a supportive network of family, friends, and neighbors. Their relationships are guided by principles of cooperation, humility, and mutual aid, creating a bond that is as enduring as it is unique. The Amish family is the cornerstone of their society, a unit that nurtures faith, discipline, and love. Families tend to be large, with 6 to 10 children, a specific role, contributing to the household's well-being. Fathers often work the fields or in workshops, while mothers manage the home, cook meals, and care for younger children. Grandparents play a vital role, passing down skills, traditions, and stories that keep the Amish heritage alive. Multi-generational households are common, ensuring that wisdom and experience are always close at hand. Few events capture the spirit of Amish community like a barn raising. When a family needs a new barn, whether due to expansion, fire, or a storm, the entire community comes together to help. In a single day, men work tirelessly to construct the structure, while women prepare more than just practical. They are a celebration of unity and mutual support. The labor is offered freely, with no expectation of repayment, reflecting the Amish belief that serving others is a way to serve God. Social life in Amish communities revolves around milestones and gatherings. Weddings, for instance, are joyous occasions, often attended by hundreds of guests. These events are marked by traditional hymns, hearty meals, and hours of fellowship, reinforcing the bonds between families and neighbors. Church picnics, quilting bees, and seasonal festivals provide opportunities for Amish families to relax and connect. These gatherings, free from the distractions of modern entertainment, allow people to focus on what truly matters: relationships and shared experiences. Like any society, the Amish face conflicts and challenges. When disputes arise, they are addressed within the community, guided by the principles of forgiveness and reconciliation. The church plays a central role in resolving disagreements, ensuring that harmony is restored outside the Amish community is based on accountability and love. Healthcare within Amish communities is a blend of traditional practices and modern medicine. For minor ailments, they often rely on home remedies passed down through generations. However, for serious conditions, they do not hesitate to seek professional medical help. Without health insurance, the Amish pay for medical services out of pocket, pooling resources when necessary. What would it mean to embrace gratitude and contentment in our daily lives? The Amish live in a way that feels at once distant and familiar. Their world may lack the trappings of modernity, but it is rich in lessons for all of us: simplicity, community, faith, and sustainability. These are values that transcend cultural and technological divides. In a fast-changing world, the Amish show us that it is possible to live differently, to find balance, and to hold on to what truly matters. Their story is not just one of resilience. It is a quiet, enduring reminder of what it means to live a life of purpose and connection. As we leave their world and return to our own, we carry with us the wisdom of their ways, a chance to reflect on how we might live more thoughtfully, more meaningfully, and more in harmony with the world around us.